Hello and welcome to the channel, YouTube world. As you can see there, that's just my cheat sheet. I took some notes from a 37-minute video clip in regards to PS5 backwards compatibility and its performance with certain games. So let's get right into it so that this doesn't end up being 37 minutes. Days Gone, Ghosts of Tsushima, The Last of Us 2, Neo 2 all run natively at 60 frames a second, 1080p. Now, in some instances, compared to the Xbox Series X, you'll have a game like Hitman 2. It runs at 1440p at 60 frames. And sometimes the Xbox Series X will actually jack up the resolution, like with the instance of The Evil Within 2. It'll be 1800p. However, there's going to be frequent frame dips down to 55, and that can be definitely problematic, whether you're at 30 getting some frame dips or you're at 60 getting some frame dips. Dipping the frames ain't good. Whereas on PS5, the game is going to run at 1296p, but a rock solid 60 frames a second. Also, the PS5 uses checkerboard 1800p at 60 frames in a lot of instances, whereas the Series X will natively run it at 1800p, but again with frequent dips down to 55, 57 frames. Visually, this is a very minuscule thing. I will argue tooth and nail with people the difference between 1800p checkerboard or 1800 native. Now, for games that are not updated for the PS5, because they have to be by the developers in order to unlock the frame rate, except in the instances of the games that I've mentioned up above, you'll have some options as well for a lot of games where you can either run it at 4K, 30 frames a second, or 1080p, 60 frames a second. The 30 frames per second, though, is cleaned up and a lot more stable than, let's say, a PS4 Pro with no frame dips. So even with some games like Just Cause 3, which is a great example, it's capped at 30 frames. But even on PS4 Pro, you're going to get a lot of dips. It can actually drop as low as 20. Now, even in some instances where games aren't that drastically being affected by performance on the PS4 Pro, staying at a relatively rock solid 30 frames, maybe dipping down to 27 or 28, I could see the side-by-side comparison on the PS5 where you are guaranteed rock solid 30 frames per second. Again, a lot of people might shake their head at rock solid 30 frames per second. I would rather $30 in my pocket than my wallet fluctuating between $30 and $27. The more dollars I have, the better. Kind of a weird analogy, but you kind of get where I'm going with this. It's more stable and consistent, and it makes a difference visually. And the PS5, in closing, will be a nice boost even if your games are not unlocked by the developers. So that's essentially all I wanted to talk to you about. I was able to kind of summarize that without showing you footage and dragging it on for 37 minutes into just a few minutes. It's going to be awesome. This isn't a knock at Xbox. I have my personal issues with Xbox, and I have every right to have those issues with them, as I've owned several of their consoles ever since day one they've ever existed with their first console. I've had every PlayStation console in existence, and I've just simply had a lot less headaches and issues and problematic scenarios with PlayStation. Different people are going to have different results. That whole your mileage may vary, right? So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen for everybody. I'm not here to tell you to pick a PS5 over the Xbox. It really makes no difference to me. I'm not sponsored by any company. I'm a nobody in the YouTube world, so believe me, this is not a sponsored video. But it's going to be interesting to see for the Xbox Series X if they end up smoothing out some stuff, because like 55, 57 frames per second dips from 60 isn't like, oh my god, game breaking. But when it's just rock solid, like never mind the 1800p native, even if they do checkerboard or they drop it down to 1440p, no one's going to be like, hey man, what's this 1440 crap in 2021? Where's my 1800? It just doesn't quite look 1440. Or it doesn't look 1800. Like, no one's going to do that. I promise you, no one's going to do that. So that's the video. I'm going to zip it before I just go on and end up making a 37-minute video. So if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It greatly helps support the channel with the algorithm and telling YouTube, owned by Google, yeah, see this channel here? He's getting a lot of thumbs up. Let's have him climb up the YouTube mountain of fame. If you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll just break it off in your ass. I've said this before. And I'll also have it so that when you're out with your friends, like on a Christmas Eve day or something like that, this is what ends up happening to you. But if you want to subscribe, maybe we can work something out. If not, that's on you. Thanks for stopping by. Take care, boys and girls, or whatever it is you identify as. And hopefully, maybe, I'll see at least some of you in the next video. Bye for now.